Morning, everyone. Good evening and good afternoon to viewers from all walks of life. This is Denzimus, and you are welcome to the channel of truth, enlightenment, freedom, and the channel of breaking empaths free. If you are new on this channel, I talk about narcissism and narcissistic abuse. I talk about spirituality, and I talk about personal and self-development. And if any of that resonates with you, I invite you guys to join us. Give us a like, share this video with friends, and you can subscribe if you haven't already. And for those that have always been with us, you are welcome back, and I thank you for your love and support. So recently I'm taking it easy. I'm not necessarily doing videos, but I still have got a message to pass on to my subscribers. I know there's a lot to talk about. And today basically I want to go and dive in a little bit into relationships. So a lot of you guys chose ones. That may be something that is on your mind. You're out there thinking. You could have worked, and of course, maybe you're somewhere in the middle of your journey. You're thinking, what is going to happen? When is the one going to come in? Now, when I'm talking about the one, I'm definitely talking about the divine counterpart. So that person will be, God will send you a particular person, particular individual to come and walk with you along your journey, love you, walk with you, support you, and you guys are meant to work together to the end. But again, we have to understand that sometimes the one may come in organically. Sometimes you may just see some people who are just good people with good intentions. They may sometimes be lucky. They meet someone. There's no toxicity. There's no abuse involved. They end up together for the rest of their lives. It has also happened like that. But when it comes to a chosen one is very conscious about themselves. So they are conscious, and normally they are doing these kind of things in a conscious way, whereby even sometimes when it comes to manifesting love, they're going to send out a specific manifestation into the universe, and they will manifest love into their lives. Sometimes they can even do it subconsciously without even knowing it. It may be just something they think about, or something they will do, or something they will even speak about verbally, and send out a manifestation for their divine counterpart to come in. So in this video, we're talking about the one. Now I'm going to tell you guys exactly what is going to happen, the things you are going to experience even before you meet that person. Those are the things you're going to go through as an individual who, first of all, as a chosen, because remember, chosen ones, I've told you guys, chosen ones, those are the guys, first of all, they wake up. They are the guys who are woke. The chosen one is woke. There's no chosen one I know in this universe, and they're not awakened. So a chosen one, first of all, you will awaken to the truth of who you really are. You know what I mean? So eventually, some of the things, what might have happened, of course, what has happened earlier on in your journey. A chosen one is a person who is going to go through a lot of challenges. And when it comes to relationships, I don't know why, for some reason, a chosen one is a person who is going to meet every kind of toxic and difficult relationships. So the chosen ones that if you meet them and you talk with them, they are going to tell you that many times ago, many years ago, earlier on in their journey, they have met a lot of very, very difficult partners, toxic individuals, you know what I mean? So the chosen ones, normally in the beginning, in the early days of their journey, some of them, they have usually had, like codependence issues. Some of them, they come from difficult families. Some of them personally have got codependence issues. So most of the times, they have usually sought validation from outside of them, So they have sought other people to love them. Most of them haven't even known about self-love. So most of them, they usually concentrate on seeking love outside of them and seeking external validation. So because of that, a lot of people, they sense that. So when those guys, toxic guys, they come into your life, they will sense something like, this guy is probably not complete. So what they will do, they will sneak in, they will come in, they will pretend to love you because that's what you're seeking in the first place. So they'll pretend to love you, and then they'll start destroying you, stealing from you, doing all these kind of things. So you will meet a lot of, if you haven't already, I'm very sure you have at this moment, you will usually meet a lot of very, very toxic individuals, So later on, of course, of course, in my videos, you guys know, every now and then we're talking about narcissism. So what usually happens with the chosen one, because out of chosen ones, even in the first place, you guys have met a lot of these narcissists and everything, toxic individuals, narcissists, psychopaths. The story goes on and on. So when the chosen one awakens, there is going to be a lot of challenges that happen later on. So when the chosen one awakens, what is going to happen is that, remember now the chosen one, after awakening, that is when you start to go through the healing process. You know what I mean? So you start to heal those parts of you that you've never recognized before, those traumas of you that you have always been hiding beneath the surface. So you start to heal a lot of things. And on top of that, also another thing you will be healing is the codependency, because out of chosen ones, like I've said, they have usually been, have had a lot of codependency traits within them. Some of them even narcissistic traits. So when I'm talking about narcissistic traits, I don't really mean that they are narcissists, but they just have those kind of traits that make them appear to be narcissists. Of course, it takes a very high level of discernment to know who a real narcissist is and who doesn't. If a person has got some narcissistic traits within them, it doesn't mean that they're narcissists. So you just use your discernment to understand these people. Well, they may have some toxic traits within them, like we all do. Most of us, we have got those little traits, but we know how to handle it when it comes to the chosen ones, because chosen ones, they're empaths. So normally they don't go over the limits. So they will know when to stop. They have got a stop button, so they know when the toxicity has got to stop and when the authenticity has got to take over. So that's the difference with the chosen ones. That's the difference they have when you compare them to other toxic people, other people like narcissists or guys like that. So basically, guys, the chosen ones, what happens is that they will wake up. They will start working on themselves. Because remember, when you're waking up, the universe wants you to start ascending. You have got to ascend, chosen ones. The purpose of your awakening in the first place, this is something I came to realize. With the very moment you wake up, the universe wants you to start ascending. So the universe is going to give you all the mechanisms. It's going to start removing people from your life. You will lose a lot of friends, family members will go and everything. So because the universe wants you to ascend, and I've made a video before and I've told you guys, the only way to ascend is in solitude. You're not going to ascend with the crowds. You cannot ascend with your fathers, your mothers. So you're going to be alone on your journey of ascension. So basically, as you ascend, the first thing what you realize is you will meet a lot of loneliness. First of all, even before the loneliness comes in, you're first of all going to meet a lot of resistance. Because it's like the ego. The ego will be telling you, oh, you know what? Let us go back to that same life we used to be before. Let us do those things we used to do. It's that was nice. Those guys we used to find in the club. Those guys we used to date with. So you'll start to see a lot of. Your mind will start driving you towards different directions, trying to drag you back to those same places that you're running from, So that is exactly when you're going to start meeting a lot of toxic individuals, So because remember, you're awakened, you know what's going on, you know them, you read about them, you understand who they are. But those guys are going to still come in. For some reason, they are going to keep on sliding in for some reason. People, let me tell you something, chosen ones. Those guys, they will always find you at some point. I don't know how they do it, but they will find you. So the universe is going to test you by bringing those same people that the universe has awakened you. That's why I've told you guys to take your time. Because remember, guys, when you're waking up, God is helping you to become a better version of yourself. So God is actually even starting to remove you from particular individuals. But you see, the thing is, before you become that person you really want to be, there is going to be tests. So it's not going to be like a smooth journey. I've told you guys in my videos every now and then, it isn't going to be a smooth journey. So you will get a lot of tests. Narcissists will start coming in. I remember in my days, after waking up, I met there was the first narcissist who came in, then I think there was a sociopath in the second time, there was a sociopath, then another time there was a greater narcissist. You know what I mean? Of course, the first two I recognize them, but the greater narcissists, because the greater narcissists, they're a little bit more advanced. So they try to use a little bit more techniques to slide in, you know what I mean? So the greater narcissists, they're a little bit more tactical when they're trying to get involved with an empath, especially when we're talking about the super empaths and people like that. They know the tricks, their tricks are on the next level of getting into people's lives. So I met in the great narcissist. Of course, eventually, I figured it out because those are things you can see in a few weeks or maybe a couple of months. You can really see that these individuals are up to no good, so you can really figure them out and get yourself out. So a lot of you guys might have noticed that there's been a lot of temptations after you waking up. You find yourself on online, on dating sites, looking for love, because you think, oh, you're lonely. You know, one of the things I've had to accept is a lot of chosen ones normally when they wake up, after waking up, they will temporarily go back to sleep. So by that what I mean, because I noticed that actually I was temporarily going back to sleep and I had to wake myself out and get out of that situation immediately. You know what I mean? So sometimes you will feel that you are temporarily going back to sleep. You're going back to those same places you used to be. You're on dating sites. You are going back to the clubs looking for those same women you used to date before. Before your awakening. So it is one of the things whereby you're going to be really, really tested by the universe. The universe is going to test you tremendously. And the universe really wants you to know. When I'm talking about the universe, so you guys already know that I'm talking about God. So the universe wants you to know that person you want to meet. Are you ready for that person? You want to meet a soulmate because that's the first thing that you will talk about as a chosen one. Yes, you want to meet a soulmate. But are you really ready for that person? Do you really want to meet? Are you ready from within in your soul? Are you ready to meet that person? So you're going to be tested by, first of all, the universe is going to bring you the wrong people. Guys will come in, oh, I'm your soulmate, I'm your twin flame, I've been waiting for you, I've been looking for you everywhere. So they will come in very cunningly, and the universe is testing you to see, are you really ready? Have you worked on yourself enough to identify who your soulmate really is and who is it? That person that is really meant to be with you for eternity. And a lot of toxic guys are going to slide in. So what will happen is that a lot of chosen ones, what they do, because the more you evolve, is the more you become aware about yourself as well. You become self-aware of who you are. So you start to understand who you really are as a chosen one, and you start to create a very, very, very strong boundaries for yourself. You know what I mean? So when it comes to dating and those kind of things, even sometimes friendships, you start to create very strong boundaries for yourself. So what happens is that now, you start to eliminate toxicity out of your life. You will notice some of them, they will go in, they will slide through, you will date them sometimes, but eventually you will know they are up to no good, you're going to leave them. And eventually what is going to happen is you're going to start eliminating the very last bit of the toxicity around you in your life. That's when you're going to remove people. Some people, for me in my journey, what I remember when I started to become more aware about toxic people and everything, I remember sometimes I would go on a date sometimes. I would sometimes meet a girl, we go on a date or something. In a week or two, that particular person has moved to a different state. This thing kept on happening, and I was like, wow, this is just somebody we just met and we're trying to see how things can go on between us and everything. So all of a sudden, within 1, 2, 3 weeks, that person moves to a new state. And that thing kept on going on and on and on. And it's actually, later on, I noticed that actually there is a very big reason why the universe is even sometimes intervening. Because remember, chosen ones, the universe will always intervene behind your back. A lot of you guys are protected. You have this angelic team behind you. Most of you don't know it, but you've got a very, very big, powerful team behind you. Sometimes they're going to protect you in the spiritual realm. When they would see you go in the wrong direction, they are going to send. Sometimes they will send a storm. Sometimes they will send particular events that are going to cause you to break up with that person because they do not want you to be with that person on your journey. That person is not supposed to be a part of your journey. So because the universe, the God will see these things even before we do. It doesn't matter how much discernment you have. Sometimes even people will come in and mirror you to the maximum that you are going to believe them. But eventually, there's another spiritual aspect. The spiritual team will be seeing that, no, these people, they're not for you. So what they will do, they will come in and intervene, and they're going to remove you from that person. You are going to separate. Sometimes you will separate. Sometimes you will see them move into a different state. That thing happened to me about a couple of times, and I was like, wow. Sometimes you will meet people, and it is going to be surprising, guys. Let me tell you something. You will meet sometimes people that are similar to the people you've dated before, because of course everybody has got their own taste. When it comes to dating, people have got their own taste of women or men. You know, man like this, they want to date a woman like that. So everybody has got their own taste. You will meet sometimes potential partners, but believe me, guys, due to the paradigm shift after waking up. Now, this video is basically addressing the chosen ones and the awakened empaths. I will not talk for the other people because this is my journey. So I'll talk for the awakening empaths or awakened empaths and the chosen ones. So you will know that you want to date them, you will approach them, you want to say something or one or two things. And guys, to my surprise, what will happen is, to your surprise and what has been also my journey, you will see those guys, they will turn you down. They will turn down your proposals for a date. They will reject you. When you have experienced, when you have gone through a paradigm shift, another thing you're going to experience is rejection. You will be surprised that before your awakening, it was easy for you to get into relationships, or you just go out there, you meet some nice girl, or maybe you meet a nice guy for yourself, you date for a couple of months, you know what I mean? But after waking up, people, you'll be surprised. You will be talking with people, and those people are going to reject you for no apparent reason. They will just, like, you come into their presence and everything, you try to say one or two things, they reject you straight away. There is something about you that makes those people reject you. I've told you guys, chosen ones, the very moment you come to that knowledge of self, you are going to start to understand people on a very deep level, and you will know exactly why they're rejecting you in the first place. Those guys, they're going to reject you. That process is going to go on for a couple of months. You will try the next ones who reject you. You will try the other woman. You will find out they are narcissist. You try another one, you meet a sociopath. You try this one, you meet a psychopath. That cycle is going to carry on, and sometimes you will try to meet somebody, and then they'll move to a different city. They will change the town, or sometimes they will go back to their ex-boyfriends or ex-husbands or things like that. That cycle is going to go on for a couple of months until you will say that, okay, now I cannot handle this. I'm not ready for it. And you're going to close the gates. So I'm letting you guys know the process is what will happen before you meet the one in this edition for today. And it's a very interesting edition. I would encourage you guys to share this this video to your platforms and everything. Let people get the message out there. Let other chosen ones find us. So basically what will happen is that now you're going to close the gates. So when you close the gates, that is exactly when you're going to go into a very, very serious loneliness, state of loneliness. Everything is going to shut down, so you will shut down, and that is when you're going to start manifesting the right person. You will ask God, you may go into prayer. Some people into spirituality, you may sometimes even send out a manifestation through your words. You want to meet a soulmate, or you want to meet a person. So now you're going to become more aware and more conscious about the person that you want to date. After going through those, bits and bits of relationships here and there, now you're going to start consciously manifesting the person that you want to stay with you. You will know that, okay, this is the person I want. They are not this, they are not this, they are like this, they are like that. So you're going to start making your own specifications and set out the intentions. But before that person comes, it's not going to be easy. Before that person comes and appears to you, it's going to take a while. So what will happen is, you will experience maximum solitude. Now, this is exactly when the universe wants you, because remember, you've told the universe that you want a soulmate. You want a divine counterpart. So what the universe will do now, before the divine counterpart comes, the universe will start removing a lot of people out of your life. Sometimes even, you'll even be surprised that even sometimes the universe is going to remove anybody that the universe feels is going to be a part of the problem. When you meet that person, the universe is going to start removing all of them out of your life. That is when you're going to see friends going, or family going. Everybody is going to disappear. You'll be surprised. You'll be thinking, what exactly is going on here, People will be disappearing out of your life. People, you'll be surprised. The very moment you send out an intention into the universe. Now, of course, I'm talking about intention and universe and everything. But you guys go into Bible schooling and everything. Bible scholars, you can talk about God. You may try to replace God into, I'll talk about the universe in this video, but you can think about it as God, angels. I don't know. You guys have got different many types of religions. Yahweh, Buddha. I don't know. So God will start to remove very many people out of your life, because in that manifestation to occur, there is people who are not supposed to be a part of you to experience you having that manifestation, because somewhere, somehow, the universe feels there won't be a blockage at a later point. So if all of a sudden you see people that have stopped to call you, all of a sudden there's, you cannot find a date. Sometimes you feel the need to just get off dating sites. You've detached from your dating sites. I remember myself in those days. I used to be on a couple of dating sites in the early days of my journey. The first thing I did, I was like, okay, now I'm going to stop searching. For some reason, you're going to start getting yourself out of dating sites. You're going to stop looking for love. You will stop looking for love, and what will happen is you will now start to divert everything within. You're going to start understanding what you need to do to love yourself more, because now you understand how all these things works. A person is supposed to meet you. That person that's supposed to be with you, we're talking about eternity. That person will meet you in that sense whereby you also know how to work on yourself. You know how to love yourself. Because those people eventually, they will also know how to love themselves. They're going to be your exact mirrors, They're going to be your divine mirrors. You will see each other in the other person, and they will do the same with you. So what will happen is, people will disappear out of your life. Now, when people start disappearing, guys, again, do not force it, don't push it, don't go after it. Just understand that because you've asked the universe, you've asked God to bring you the right person, that is why God is starting to remove a lot of people out of your life, because those people, He doesn't want those people to become a distraction when that right person comes in your way, comes along your path. So that's what happens, is that now they start to leave, and that is when you're going to become extremely, extremely lonely. So when they start to leave, to get out of your life and to, abandon you somewhere in the middle of the road, don't wonder what's happening. Just know that the universe has started doing all these maneuvers to bring that person that is meant to be with you into your life. So some people have got to get out of your energy, get out of your energy. So that's what happens. So what happens is that now you go into a very, very long state of loneliness. Sometimes people have also experienced depression. A lot of guys who are on this spiritual journey as well, they have experienced depression, whereby they're thinking, oh my God, this is like been months since I last manifested my soulmate to come in, my twin flame, my divine counterpart. It's been ages. Where are these people? When are they coming? The second question is going to be, when are they coming? It's going to be, sometimes it will be a bit stressful to think about it, worrying about it, thinking about it, dreaming about it on a daily basis. So it will become stressful, lonely, number one, and secondly, stressful and depressing at the same time. So what happens is that now the universe starts to prepare your energy levels to match up with that person you're trying to look for, you're looking for, or you're desiring to meet. Your energy is also going to start raising somehow, because that's even the first reason why God, first of all, has got to remove you away from certain people, so that your energy can come into balance, for you to be able to attract that particular person that you're looking for. And then that is exactly when you're going to go. Sometimes people experience depression. A lot of guys who have been on this spiritual journey as well, I've seen many of them. Very few of them talk about it. And again, that is going to be a different subject. So you guys, you've got to be sure that we've got a lot to talk about. So basically, a lot of people go into depression, stress. It may not necessarily be depression. Sometimes it may be stress. That loneliness will be very, very intensive. That loneliness is meant to help you to evolve, because you've asked God for a very high quality partner, intimate partner, or things like that. So now, of course, God has got to make the moves for you. Get all the people out of your energy. A lot of people, family, friends, workmates, they will start leaving. Some will leave, some you'll remove them physically, manually. and then you start falling into alignment. So when the loneliness happens, the depression and everything, all those are stages, because now you're starting to think with your body, you're starting to think with your spirit and soul. So you are silencing the ego. So that's why all these changes start happening, because now you're trying to get yourself back into alignment, to authenticity. Because for you to meet a divine partner, you've got to be in your authenticity, because that person is going to come into your life and they're exactly like you. So that is exactly also during that process, that stage, and that thing can take months. You may be wondering now, this depression stage, how long can it take? It can even take a year, even two. But of course, it doesn't mean that you'll be somewhere in your room locked up getting depressed and things like that. The chosen one, they already know, how to work on themselves. They will go around, try to generate some energy, go into parks, grounding. They will go swimming, they will go gym, they will do this. The chosen one, they know how to generate energy, So the depression, you will go through it, because it's a process also supposed to occur to move it to the next level as you move towards finding your soulmate or divine partner. So what happens is now, in those days, again, in those stages, that is when you're going to also experience a lot of sexual frustration. So when it comes to sex, because remember, you've left a lot of people, a lot of people have gone out of your life, there's nobody around. That is also when the time comes that you get a lot of sexual frustration. You really, really frustrated, you know what I mean? Sexually, when it comes to sex, you're not having sex like you used to, you know what I mean? So it's not like the same sex you used to have before. Like, for example, when you were the narcissist, all these other toxic guys, maybe sometimes you were a clubber before, you would go out in the club and you would come out with a date every night or things like that. So that life is gone. So now that's where the sexual frustration comes in. And that sexual frustration, guys, is very, very intensive. It's very, very intensive, because remember, you're no longer dating, and you're no longer having sex at the same time. Some men in those days, again, they go no fap. Some women, they just abstain, they store their energy, prepare their energy for the right person, because the right person comes in, you're in shape, your body is in shape, your spirit is in shape, your mind is in shape, Sometimes even your bag is in shape, you've already worked on yourself and you have some things going on for yourself. You have accumulated your business, everything. You skyrocket in your business. So a lot of things happening for you. So everything is in shape. So normally, those kind of people, they meet you in the proper vibration. They may not necessarily have to be like you, but they may simply understand where you're going. And those individuals, they're also going to support your journey, as well as you supporting theirs, So sexual frustration will come in, and that one will actually be also for a couple of months. You will be frustrated sexually. Sometimes people may even sometimes be tempted, because remember, the ego now is fighting with you. Your body is telling you need sex. You want to get laid. If you're a woman, if you're a man, you want to have sex. The wet dreams will come in. So these things I'm talking about, guys, you have to pay very, very close attention. When we're talking about meeting the one people, it's not a walk in the park. That person is going to come, but there's also work to be done. That person will not find you sitting in the couch and doing nothing. That person will find you on your journey. So there's some work to be put in before you meet that person that God wants you to stay with for eternity. So basically, during the sexual frustration as well, some people may find themselves going into porn. Sometimes you may find yourself going into masturbation. Of course, I'm not saying that this is going to be everybody, but a lot of people also in this journey, they will go into porn, they will go into masturbation, they will go into everything that they can do to suppress, because the sexual frustration is very, very intensive, and most of the cases the body does not know how to handle this. So you will find a lot of people into masturbation, people will be into porn in those days. Of course, because remember, you're conscious as well. So when you're doing all these kind of things, you also know at a very conscious level, these are things that you shouldn't be doing, but at the same time, you know that you can handle it. You're in control of everything. You know what I mean? So you cannot let these things really get into you. So it may happen sometime early in your days that you might get involved in this thing. That what causes those acts is extreme sexual frustration, because remember, you're also protecting your body. You don't want to give your body to somebody that doesn't deserve it. You've done a lot of work on yourself, probably you're still doing the work, and you don't want to give your body to someone that doesn't really deserve it. That's where the sexual frustration comes in, and the depression and anxiety. There will be a lot of anxiety as well, you know. So at some point later on, in your journey, what is going to happen is that you're going to, because remember, during the depression and everything, God is still testing you. How much can you handle? Can you abstain? Can you be tempted to go and get laid because you're sexually frustrated? Can you be doing this? So that's when all these tests are going to be coming in. A lot of tests are going to come in before, guys. It's going to be challenging to meet the one, But believe me, when that person comes, finally you're going to know it was worth the wait. Those were the exact people that have been built specifically for you. Those guys that have been waiting for you, they have also been looking for you exactly the same way you've been looking for them. But it's just because you guys were not energetically, you were not aligned to meet each other at that time. So that's why you see everybody was going west. This one goes south, that one goes west. Some people meet the one in very, very unbelievable circumstances. You can find sometimes the person that is meant to be with you, they have already had kids with somebody else, they have been married with somewhere else, but for some reason they happen to be a divorce, because God was intervening in those situations that they should separate from the people they are with so that they can come and meet you halfway. So you meet those individuals, sometimes you may meet them, they have been married before, sometimes. I know a friend of mine, this story reminds me of a friend of mine who fell in love very long time ago, They fell in love a long time ago, and those people, they separated 20 years ago, That person went on with their life, and this guy went on with his life, They even moved to different countries, only to find out that actually 20 years later, that those people were supposed to be together. So they reunited after 20 years. They found each other somehow, they reconnected, and their love started all over again. Then just like they have just met yesterday. So they found each other after 20 years. It is just because, like I'm saying, energetically, the two of you are not ready for each other. So sometimes it's important, necessary to separate and go and work on yourself and find your own paths and journeys. And at some point later on, a couple of many years later, some people will separate. Sometimes you guys have heard about the twin flame reunions as well. Some people have met their twin flames before. They have run away from them, and then eventually, after a couple of years, they have come back to reunite with their twin flames. But me, I'm not a twin flame expert. There are some other channels that go deep into those twin flames and everything. So, the one comes in later on, guys. When you finally get into vibration alignment, you're no longer depressed. You're no longer thinking about sex. You're not even thinking about love. It's like you've already forgotten about it. Whatever it comes, when that person comes, they're going to come. But me personally, I'm focusing on myself. I'm working on myself. I'm developing my journey. I'm developing my business. I'm pursuing my passions. You've already forgotten about them. There's no more frustration. There's no more masturbation. There's no more porn. You're not looking for it. You're very, very comfortable in your own skin. You can wake up in the morning, do what you want to do, go to sleep, very comfortable in your own bed. There's no noise. There's no chaos. That is exactly when that person is going to find you. And believe me, when that person comes, you will know. Guys, let me tell you something. I've been mentioning this thing in my videos. Many of you don't understand this. When that person comes into your life, I will guarantee you that person, even if they are miles and miles away from you, you are going to know. It doesn't matter. That person can be from Japan, you are from Africa. That person can be from South Africa, you are Indian. When that person comes into your life, people, I can guarantee your divine counterpart can come from anywhere. You will be shocked in the first place that actually it was the last kind of person you had even expected to meet. But when that person comes, people, let me tell you something. It doesn't matter. The first time you get contact with them, you will know that these are the people meant for you. There is something will tell you energetically that those people, they are aligned, fully aligned. They are fully aligned energetically with you. They are sending off a vibration whereby they are almost meeting you in the middle. You know what I mean? It's like they may not be necessarily financially stable, but you will see that sometimes they're already meeting you in the middle energetically. You may be well off because a lot of chosen ones, they know they work on themselves, they grow, they elevate, they become wealthy. Some of them become millionaires, and the people supposed to be with them, they will come from the most unexpected places. You may be a person who is in India, and you'll be somewhere on Facebook, and you see a message from somebody from Africa, maybe from Ghana, maybe from, I don't know, Liberia, Sierra Leone, maybe somebody from Mongolia. You will be shocked. You'll be thinking, okay, so of all countries and of all places, that person is going to come from somewhere you do not expect. The least places that you expect, that's where that person will come from. When those guys come in, believe me, guys, you will know. Your soul will tell you, because remember, you are a person that has been working on yourself. You know who you are. Number one, you have put in the work. You really love yourself. You have come to that acceptance and the position of self-love, whereby you really now understand what is self-love. You can love yourself. You understand what is toxicity. You have learned the big lessons in life. That person comes in, people. You will not ask the questions. Energetically, you will know those are the guys. You will have a few conversation, of course, here and there. 1 or 2 or 3, but you will know in a few conversations that these people, there's something about them that, you really want to be with them. And those individuals, people, before you know it, you guys are going to be together. That person, when they come into your life, let me tell you something. You guys have been asking yourselves why a lot of these successful people, you shout out of sometimes successful people, their success is going to heighten, and their success is going to boom for no apparent reason. They meet those individuals before they know it, because remember, guys, this is a divine connection. Let me explain something here, guys. Let me explain something. Listen to me. It is a divine connection, and that divine connection, because it has been initiated and divinely orchestrated by God, the universe. That person comes into your life. Let me tell you something. The very moment that person lands into your hands, that is exactly when the miracles are going to start to happen in that partnership, because it's a divine counterpart. All of a sudden, your business is going to boom. You will boost. Finances are going to heighten. Your glow, your energy, everything. With the very moment you meet those people, that is exactly when everything is going to take off. You will already have taken off at some point, but that time when you guys meet, that is exactly when you're going to start manifesting even double than you used to manifest before, because those individuals that have been divinely guided by God, by the universe, towards you. So all in all, in this video, guys, in this podcast, is just to let you guys know that the divine counterpart comes in at some point later on in your journey. It will not be the person you expect, and you will not see. Sometimes you will not even be ready for it. You may have already forgotten about it. You have, for example, you have manifested love 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago. That person will come in at some point when you've done the work, you've healed. There's no trauma in there. You're not going to start offloading your problems onto somebody else that had nothing to do with your history and your past. You've healed your traumas. You've let everything go. That person will come in. And that is exactly when you guys are going to start manifesting that life that you can never imagine. You have never imagined in your entire life. That is exactly when you're going to start manifesting. You will start manifesting even double than you used to do before. So, guys, let me know what you think about this in this message for today. Leave us a comment in the section below, guys. You always know I love and appreciate your support. I'll get back to you in my next one. Much love and blessings. Book a session, guys. Remember, book a session if you want to. If you would like to discuss something, book a session. Let us chat. And also, you can support and donate to this cause and keep the channel going. Other than that, guys, much love and blessings. There's more signing out. And I'll catch you in my next one. Bye now.